world is upon us. Some skaters are on the rise and some others are falling. Hello, hello! We know men are gonna men, that's a given. So I had this marvelous idea of why not rank them on the worst day they had on the season. Well, only the top 10, because if I did all men, that would be very hard. So then that would be like an hour long for each discipline. So let's stick with the top 10, well, top 15 actually. Coming up in number 1, the quad god, Ilia Malinin. Now, don't act surprised. You knew this was coming. He was the best. His lowest score he actually got at Skate America. Yeah, that was the crazy part. His lowest score of the season is 290. 290! That's higher than most of these fields' best score ever. Isn't that nuts? He's a frontrunner by a mile. The last couple of times Ilia has tried to do all of his quads in one program, his performance started dragging a little, and at nationals, he looked very winded. And of course, as a result, when it came to the backflip, he looked very unstable, it looked really unsafe. The ISU doesn't have the protocols to protect the skaters from themselves. I really don't want to see a broken neck on the ice. First aid and concussions are not taken seriously enough. Ilia is a showman and I highly respect that. I just hope he's intelligent enough to know to let go of the backflip if he's trying as many quads as he did and as winded as he was in nationals. Coming up at number 2, to no one's surprise, Masakazu Kagiyama's clone, Yuma Kagiyama. Yuma is the homiest of homiest. His lowest was at Finlandia at 263. It was really an off event for him. It really was. But Finlandia was it for everybody. Everyone did very bad there. He's been trying out his layout to beat Ilia or at least compete against Ilia because if Ilia lands his quad axel and like the 100 quads he's got in store, Yuma is gonna fall short. But he's next level homie. He states that he wants to go safe in order to preserve the 3 spots at the Olympics. If we get as good as a panel as the one we got at Grand Prix final, he's got a very good chance of beating Ilia. Do I really believe that Yuma will be first? Not really, because it's also Boston. But the shot is there if he goes clean and if the panel is not looking at passports. His best score of the season is 300 at NHK, so 12 points behind Ilia. It's gonna be tough. Third place, depending on the worst score, is Adam Xiaohimfa, also known as Crazy Axis and Aerial Master. Worst score was at the Grand Prix de France. Oh, you will notice a trend with this one. He's been injured all season. He even had to withdraw from the Grand Prix final. Last week at the Sonia Hini Trophy, I had to read that, I'm sorry. He scored his best of the season at 281.99, so really competitive. Adam, I swear, if you're still hurt and you compete on an injury and that causes you to miss the Olympics, First person out of the podium in the worst day, the guy who missed too many doping tests, Daniel Grossel. His worst was actually at Europeans thanks to this king, but when the panel is too lenient, his best is at 280. Oh. Tell you what, I actually want him to do well, like within the top 5 and Memola in the top 10 as well, just because I want Team Italy to have 3 spots for their home Olympics. And that team will be made up of Nicolai Memola, Matteo Rizzo, and Gabriel Frangipani. Sorry, Corey, someone needed to be out of the team and I'm emotionally attached to Frangipani. You're grateful. If I have to root for Grossel to be in the top 5 just for this to happen, I have to. I'm sorry, I have to. Still in the top 5, Shun Sato. Making the list of the worst and having him in top 5 was kind of a relief, not gonna lie. I know we're all panicking, but see, he was not the worst of the worst. The only thing that does worry me, though, is that his lowest score was on his last competition and his best was actually his first competition. So, oh June, I hope you're alright because you really worry me. Your mental worries me. Number 6. Dark Horse Torn Contender, Mikhail Shaidorov. He's coming up from a high. Plain and simple. 4cc really was his event. He had the narrative, he had the elements, he had the programs. Everything went right for him at 4cc. He's got insane consistency on the crazy elements that he possesses. Will he be able to continue that rise? Lucky number 7. I'm still not fully on board on his tango interpretation. His choreo is magnificent, but the interpretation I feel like is needing some inner fire. Regardless, Jung Wan-cha is clearly a contender for the podium. His worst score was from Nebelhorn at the beginning of the season, and his best was from Asian Winter Games, quite recent. That should give anyone hope. Mom's favorite is number 8, Nicolai Memola. Worst day he had all season was at Cup of China with 214. I don't need him to podium, I just need him to do well. Quite literally, he stands out. His long limbs make everything better look even better and everything bad look even worse. European champion Lucas Brycki makes it at number 9. His worst was at Grand Prix de France with 212. His best came from Euros with 267, which is still very low. But if everyone has a bad day and he has a good one, anything is possible. I have to add that he got a cut, I don't know exactly where, but people are saying on his butt or something, and that got infected, so let's hope it doesn't affect him that much. Rounding up the top 10, the best European Championship squitter, Kevin Amos. His worst was from Euros again at 183. Yep, you heard that absolutely right. 100 below his best score ever. 100. Look, whatever the French Federation decided, it was gonna be the wrong decision. If they sent Adam, it's bad because of his injury. If they sent Kevin, it's bad because he's so inconsistent and he just gives up in the middle of his programs. If they send Mr. Economy, his best score is way below everybody's. Francois doesn't have any experience outside of juniors internationally. Clearly the French Fed needed to go with Kevin. He's got the best potential, the highest ceiling. Kevin also made a very good point about supporting trans identities. Gotta applaud that. I only wish his morality extended to victims of SA. If he keeps up at Worlds just as he does in Euros, we might be left with one singular Frenchman at the Olympics. Skaters who are not top 10 but are still in the mix. Tatsuya Tsuboi, his worst is 234, which is actually middle of the road. 234 at worst. So, Japanese fans, you should not be worried. Well, maybe just a little tiny bit. Vegetarians, do not worry, I have you covered as well. Jason's best should scare you. He's got 229 points. His worst is not that far, 218. We have not seen him recently, aside from shows. I would have sent Jimmy Ma, who's coming off a very good run. But Jason was the chosen one. We'll see if that pans out. The US Fed is also banking on Torgashev, who I genuinely really like. I was surprised to find out that his worst score is 207, but his best is 246. I thought it would be much higher. But then I remember the highest score I've seen from him came from nationals, and he scored like 1,000 points more. And we know for sure those scores don't count, right? Right? Two more outliers, Nika Egatse got 11 in the best scores, and Denis Vasilias with 257, which is just 0.02 above Tatsuya's best, and his worst score is just 0.3 below Tatsuya's worst. They'll probably end up together in the tables. Since everyone is very panicky about the spots, it's a good time to remind you, if you want 3 spots, you cannot add more than 13 points. Your placement is the number of points you get. First place, 1 point, second place, 2 points, and so on and so forth. For instance, Yuma will probably get a silver again. That means Tatsuya or Shun need to be 11. Either or, and all 3 need to make the free. The lowest they could get is a 6 and a 7. 7 and 8, they lose the spots. Same goes for the US. If Ilia wins, Torgashev needs to be 11 at most, and Jason only needs to make the free. Quite doable for both nations in my opinion. From the most chaotic category, let's go to the most predictable or unpredictable one. Miniki is obviously number 1. They are the favorites. I think they're gonna win. Their worst was a cup of China, 209 points. You will see this trend that number 1s at their worst are still much better than half the top 10. Coming out of Europeans, they look like the strongest team in the world, with the best interpretation and the best programs overall. They really sold me. The ones that I'm not sold on is number 2, Rikuryu. 206 is their worst. Their best is just 1 point below Miniki. I have the same problem with the Italians. I just don't like their programs. I thought that when they did like their Bridgerton-esque program, we were going in the right direction, and they just got back, and it's just very dull, and it's just very forgettable. And I don't like that for a team that is supposed to be world champions. Speaking of the Italians, Conti and Machi. Worst was a Taisei trophy. Don't ask me, this is the first time I see that name. Their best was at Cup of China with 211. I enjoy them at Europeans, but I do know if it was because I was just starving for quality elements and a good cleanish program or something, and they delivered, so I was like, oh, I like this garment, oh, I like these programs, and usually I don't really like them. I find them quite boring. I like the team, but their programs don't help them. Oh, the other day I saw a song that could actually fit them. Let me see if I find it. Nope, I lost it. I'm gonna beg on my knees. I just need them out of these tribute pieces. You're not 4 years old. One season is okay, but you've been doing this for like 5. They are funny people. Give them fun programs. Not campy, just fun. Diana and Maxine would be out of the podium on a bad day for everybody. I don't know how they do it, but every single season they get so sick, they get so injured, and I don't get why. Is it really age? Does it really get worse with age? And for continents, they did upgrade their program, which I appreciate. There were some dope movements within it, so I'm expecting the same for Worlds. They're very strong-minded pair, they are very driven, and I admire that a lot from this pair. They are the current world champions, so I expect them, if they don't even medal, I expect them to go down in a fight. Number 5 on a bad day goes to a pair with 50% dislike ratio, Metelkina Veru Freak. NHK gave them their best score. Their worst score came from Europeans, which is almost the same as the score they got in juniors. Have I mentioned that I hate that they are allowed to go in Euros when they are contenders for the senior podium? What? I make a point of not speaking about juniors, but I don't get it. I don't get how they are able to compete, even on a moral standpoint. I understand it when they just dip their toes on the water, test the waters in seniors at events like Europeans, for CC, Worlds, and your whole season is on juniors. But when you're winning in senior and you go back to juniors, that feels like spitting on your face. Same happened with Komiura. I still felt like that was rude to juniors. The ISU really needs to revise and do something about it, just letting them compete like 2 senior events tops in a year. If not, you have to leave juniors. Something needs to happen there. Maybe we will address it at the end of the season or something, but it's just baffling to me. Number 6, Ellie Cam and Danny O'Shea, the pair that just has no grip on the throw jump yet. At the Grand Prix final is the last time I recall them landing a good throw jump, and not just like a dodgy one. Pavlova and Sviatchenko are following in closely with just 1 point off on the worst scores. If you want to know my full opinion about this team, then you can go check my Euros recap. But summing up, elements good, chemistry bad. Efimova and Mitrofanov, their worst was 170, pretty low at Grand Prix de France again. On an emotional level, I want Efimova and Mitrofanov to do really well. I think it was very sweet what they did at Legacy on Ice. All the support they've given to Maxime, for me, says a lot about their character. Even though they are not my favorite skaters by far, I just wish them to do really well, because I think kindness should be repaid. 9th place! Dun 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 dun, guess who? Ilardi Ambrosini! Couldn't believe it either. I thought they were gonna be much lower on their best scores, and they were actually 9. They got it a diamond spin. 193. Their worst, well, it's 171. Oh, they actually should be 8. They should be above Efimova and Mitrofanov. Uh-oh. Mistake. They are very inconsistent, so I would go with the 171 almost as their best score, because that's probably what we're gonna see. I hope they skate a very, very good program. I want to see both pairs make the Olympics, or 3 maybe, I hope so. It'd just be a shame. They are so good, but their side-by-sides are just awful. And number 10, actually tied at worst with Efimova and Mitrofanov, are Pereira and Michaud. Medal of 4cc, 198 is their best score, 170 is their worst. And looking back at what they did at Europeans, 4cc, even with an illness and they got their personal best score, I think they will do pretty well at Worlds unless they get sick again. They show a lot of promise. They literally are Canada's future. I wouldn't be surprised if Canada, if anything of their politics still hold, they are gonna start pushing them for the Olympics or setting them up for the next cycle, which is exciting. But please sharpen up your tango, please. 11, my Aussie babies, 11, they are 11, no! At 12, Annika Hoke and Robert Kunkel. So much potential. Realistically, they are looking to preserve the 2 spots for Germany and not exactly podiuming. I'd like to be mistaken though. Juna Sumi are much the same. Realistically, they are looking to preserve those 2 spots. But if somehow they get 3 spots, I'm just looking to see them improve by every single competition that goes by. Last category, and probably the most exciting of them all, women. Aside from Kaori, their best and their worst for women are around 10 points. And when you compare it to men that are like 30 in between, these girls mean business. Remember, 13 points for 3 spots, 28 for 2. For 2 spots, you cannot drop out of the top 15. Lowest possible, 13 and 14. Woman in number 1, Demon Slayer herself, Amber Glenn. Grand Prix de France, you were the worst, 210. She's so good now, I cannot believe it. She's approaching competitions in a very smart way. She's not risking another triple axel yet. She just wants to skate clean, and I think everyone should aim for that. Skate clean. Skating clean gets you medals. If everybody has a good day and skate their season's best, she would be 3rd. Number 2 is of course the ray of sunshine, Kaori Sakamoto. Who freaking else? Her worst came at the Grand Prix final. No surprise there, she got 201, 30 points below her best at NHK, which was 231.88. She's looking for that four-peat, I am looking for the five-peat, oh yeah. I'm only afraid for her flip and her lots, maybe even her loop. But I didn't say that, she will do fantastic. Rounding up the most probable podium, Chaeyeon Kim. First part of the season, not good for Korea. Second part of the season, really good for Korea. Worst was again at Grand Prix de France with 199. Okay, I lied. She also had 20-point difference. 222 is her best. And she is in a hot streak. 2 golds back-to-back definitely can challenge Amber or Kaori for that world title. Out of the podium is Mone Shiba. Some of you have caught on that Mone is not on my good side currently. It's not that I don't like her. What bothers me is that when she starts making mistakes, she drops her performance. On the other hand, she has not been able to crush the inconsistency narrative. I was expecting her to do so at 4cc, but she got gastroenteritis. Out of all of the skaters here, I think she has the most to prove. Not to the fans, because we love her anyway, but thinking ahead, she needs to be above Wakaba at Worlds. We've seen what happened to Manaka Wabe, Wakaba Higuchi back in 2017. If you got inconsistency tied to you, the Fed will drop you in the blink of an eye. She needs to show that she's a reliable second skater for Japan. A 3rd place is a precarious position. Imagine that Hana shapes up and lands her triple axels cleanly. Wakaba also has a triple axel, Rinka Watanabe has a triple axel, and Rion Sumiyoshi is not that far off from a quad toe. I fear Mona needs to go clean. If she wins, then forget I ever said anything, okay? Halfway in the top 10 is Wakaba Higuchi. Worst score was very recent from 4cc with 195. I mean, they are not bad scores by any means. Finally, redemption from Grand Prix de France. She got the best score with 206. Comeback season and she made the team for Worlds. This girl's already won. Speaking of comebacks, number 6 is Alyssa Liu. Great news for the USA. If Alyssa is in top 6, the US has the 3 tickets for Milano. Before you ask, I'm not using national scoring because we know those are fake. Worst score, Skate Canada, otherwise known as her first event after 3 years. Unless something tragic happens, I'm pretty sure Japan and the USA are very safe on the 3 spots. Finally, the first European, Anastasia Gubanova. Guess where he got her worst? Grand Prix de France. Now guess where she got her best? Oh, you know this one, Europeans, of course. Always locked in for Europeans. For Worlds, not so much. Number 7, the skater many of us thought was bound to become the new European champion, Kimi Rippon. Good news, her worst dates from the first event of the season, Nebelhorn. She has improved every year, but her scores don't really reflect that, which is weird. Team Switzerland is on the rise, and I wouldn't be surprised if they become a dark horse in the near future. Number 9. European champion, Nina Petrokina. Yep, I was also taken aback that she was so low. In a good day, she would be placing 5th, splitting the Japanese Mone and Wakaba, with a score of 208, the only European that has surpassed the 200 mark. She's coming off of a high. Can she fly any higher? Last but not least, the girl with the most fabulous choreography and the most original of them all, Laranaki Goodman. Her only objective here are the 2 spots for Italy. You can do it. You can do it. Finlandia, where she medaled, was her best score of the season with 198, and this was also her personal best. Notable mentions, Isabeau is 11th actually with 194 as her best score. Bad day would be 188, which actually would place her 6th in the list. Whoever made Isabeau skate like Audrey Hepburn needs a raise. Whoever taught her jumping technique needs to go to jail. Her skating reminds me so much of Anna Shcherbakova, and not in the good way. Watch the inflation hit! Nina Pinzarone 1 point off of Isabeau. Maddie not that far behind with 190 as the best. 155 her worst, so I'm still kind of mad with her scoring at 4cc. And Korean, Asunjun is 14. Korea, I don't know how to say this, but I don't think you have 3 spots for next year. Even the skater with a lot of apologists is still below Asunjun best. If you need a visual to make sense of all of these numbers, I got you. The greatest of shoutouts to skating scores and ring results. Without them, this video would have been impossible to make. So thank you! If your country is looking for 2 spots and I did not mention them at all this video, you should start getting worried. Looking at you, Estonia. Boston 2025 might become the most exciting event of the cycle so far. I don't know why, but I feel like the Japanese are actually the underdogs at Worlds. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Yuma is willing to sacrifice his world title, potentially beating Ilia, just to safeguard the 3 spots for Japan. We're also at Boston, and first we know that inflation in the USA is not only for eggs, it's also for PCS. It happens every year, so get ready to get angry because both potential champions in singles are vegetarians and they are skating at home, so myself is getting ready to get a bit upset over the scores. If I had to put money on who is gonna win in women, I would say Chaeyeon Kim just based on momentum. And hear me out, I feel like Kaori is actually the underdog this season. I know it sounds insane when she's a world champion, 3-time world champion. It appears to me as if this is the first time in many years that she has to fight tooth and nail for those scores. If she pulls off the win, it's gonna be one of the most hard-earned and satisfying victories she's ever had, next to 2022 maybe. Leave your predictions and dream podiums below. They can be realistic or delulu. I know I promised a secret video, I'm still working on it. I'm just feeling like I'm coming down with something, and I want to have ready the preview for Worlds just in case I lose my voice. A little clue for you has got to do with Boston. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you after Worlds, or earlier if I don't get sick. Bye! Petrokina won Euros at home, Chaeyeon won 4cc at home. Does this mean Amber will win Worlds at home? Oh no, I just jinxed her, didn't I?